Is there anything you can do to counter the curse of leadership? Yes, there is. One way not to be a victim of the curse is rather simple. Keep an ancient story alive in your mind. Remember it every day you are a leader, and you will surely keep the curse at bay. No doubt, we all learn at least one critical lesson early in our careers, a lesson that not only stays with us, but also shapes our careers. Do you remember your critical lesson? If not, take some time after this video to think about it. Here is mine, the lesson that shaped my career. It is the same lesson that made me leave a management consulting firm because they never learned that lesson. I was fortunate enough that my very first job after graduation brought me into a close working relationship with many executives and their teams. After a number of years of working as a junior with executive teams, it dawned on me that almost always at least one person in the room has the answer or solution that the team is searching for. And yet the team believes the answer must be somewhere on the outside, possibly with a so-called expert. And so, for whatever reason, the answer or solution does not make it into the open or onto the executive table. And that's why I finally clashed with my consulting colleagues. I went in believing that someone on the inside probably already knew the answer, but did not realize it. Hence, my job was to uncover it. My consulting colleagues went in believing they had all the answers and that their job was to unpack a suitable one. Hence, they did not have to listen much. Now, let me tell you that ancient story, one that is repeating itself every day in many different organizations. The odds are extremely high that your organization is one of the many. As you listen, I hope you realize that you do not have to be a victim, like so many others of this story. I hope you realize that you could even be the hero. The story is the Greek legend of the Trojan horse. Yes, I'm sure you know it, but I'm also sure that there are important elements of the story you probably don't know, elements that are extremely critical to your success as a leader. So let's tell the story again. According to the legend, the Greeks had been unsuccessful in taking the city of Troy until they devised the plan of constructing a huge wooden horse large enough to hold a number of men. The horse, filled with a number of Navy SEAL-type warriors, was left outside Troy. Then the Greeks sailed away. The Trojans dragged the horse into their city, and that night the warriors inside the horse climbed out and opened the gates to the Greeks who had returned during the night. That's the condensed version. The longer version explains two critical elements that many of us were never told. 1. The Greeks were rather clever and left some good news announcement for the leaders of Troy. They created a dedication proclaiming the horse to be a sacrifice to the god Athena, knowing that this good news dedication would appeal to the Trojans. Well, as we know, today it did. 2. There was at least one senior person in the hierarchy of Troy who was vocally suspicious of that horse. His name was Laocoon. He tried to persuade his colleagues to first inspect the horse outside before bringing it into the city. We know that he was ignored. Over the years, I've realized that there is almost always at least one person on the executive team who sees a trap where others see an opportunity. Often this person suffers the same fate as Laocoon. No one wants to heed the warning. Instead, he or she is labeled as unreasonable or pessimistic. Now consider a Trojan horse incident in your organization. With hindsight, can you see that one of the following situations must have existed at the time? 1. No one spotted the threat. 2. Someone suspected something but kept quiet. 3. Someone suspected and did speak out but was not heard. 4. Someone suspected, was heard, but ignored, as a discredited source perhaps. And 5. Someone did suspect, was heard, and was fired. And therein lies the problem. No organization or team can hope to be truly effective if any of the above 5 points apply to it. Obviously, it's rather difficult to do something if no one spotted the threat in the first place. But it is within any leader's power to do something about the other 4 points. Now let me repeat myself. In my many years of working closely with top management teams, I have realized that there is almost always at least one person on the executive team who sees a trap where others sees an opportunity, who has an answer where others are baffled, who sees clearly where others are lost. And this person is ignored. What can you as a leader do? Here are another 4 simple steps to try today. 1. Promote free speech at work. 2. Say you don't know even when you do. 3. Encourage diversity at work. Social diversity, cultural diversity, and above all, mindset diversity. And 4. Capitalize on your unreasonable people. See the links below this video on makeshifthappen.com for more information on these 4 steps. Of course, you could also use the shift trigger with your team to stop a possible Trojan horse incident in its tracks. Try the free version today on makeshifthappen.com. Now watch video number 3, where to focus to make shift happen. To make shift happen quickly. Now go on, make shift happen.